Hey, Rick Lewis here with day 9 in 21 days in the life of a professional speaker. Today I want to talk to you about origin stories. Today I'm working on my own origin story. Now, an origin story is basically a narrative that explains how you got to be on stage and why you are the person to talk on the subject that is at hand. And an origin story is necessary because in order for the audience to let down their guard and be willing to take in what you're saying, it needs to make sense to them that you're the one who's standing up there speaking and they're the ones in the audience sitting there listening. So you need to convey what are the significant, notable experiences and life history and things you've been through that make you qualified to speak on the subject in a way that is going to have benefit to the audience. So at the same time, you're describing how and why you're extra qualified to speak on the subject. It's also important that the origin story indicates how you are just like the audience, how you have been exactly in their shoes yourself at some point, how they need to know how they can relate to you at the same time as they see the exceptional qualifications that you have. Now, for me, the origin story is always some version of, because I'm talking about rule breaking, my book, 7 Rules You Were Born to Break, I'm talking about the necessity of leaving hidden social rules in our culture behind in order to succeed. Now, because I've just done this waiter routine, it's a pretty good fit for me to be the person who's talking about rule breaking when I've just been broken every rule that exists in terms of appropriate service as a waiter. But now I'm breaking that rule again by having rused the entire audience into thinking that I was one thing, and as it turns out, I'm the keynote speaker. So I've already demonstrated my capacity to break rules in a very theatrical and successful way. So that really works for me. But then in addition, what I do as the waiter when I'm going around and mistreating people and overfilling their water glasses, I've actually overfilled more than 150,000 water glasses. And I describe how I've observed the reactions of all these people that I've served this way and how I've seen the way that the attempt to follow rules, so the attempt for those people to fit in and not make waves in relationship to what I did as a waiter, gave me a very unique view. And I call myself at this point an accidental sociologist. I explained how it was like doing a miniature sociology study. And so those experiences of doing the waiter routine, everything I got to see about human behavior and people while doing the waiter routine, having written my book, all of that is part of my origin story. And it explains to the audience why it makes sense that I'm the person who's in front of the room talking about rule breaking. So for you, whatever the topic is that you're presenting on, make sure somewhere at the beginning or near the beginning of your keynote, you want to land for the audience an understanding of what brought you to the stage. Why were you compelled to learn about this subject? What struggles or challenges did you go through to earn your knowledge or your life experience in relationship to what you're talking about? It's very important that the audience knows that, and also that they understand something about where you started from. What challenges or struggles did you have at the beginning? How were you an ordinary person just like them before you started on your path or your journey to become exceptional in the area that you now have deep competency in? So that's essentially what an origin story is and why you should form one and deliver it at the beginning of your keynote. I'm working on mine today. I'm always refining it and trying to tailor it even more directly to my audiences and my current presentations. So that's what I'm doing today. And if you need to give a keynote yourself, give some thought to your origin story. It'll no doubt refine over time. You'll want to be constantly revising it, but it's a really important part of a successful keynote.